Hello, and welcome back to the GCP-Mindset channel, your go-to source for all things clinical research. In this episode, we're shifting the focus from the how of monitoring to the what next. Specifically, how monitoring data helps shape decisions in clinical trial project management. Monitoring is the backbone of clinical trials, ensuring patient safety, data integrity, and protocol adherence. But beyond that, monitoring is an invaluable resource for clinical trial project managers. The data we collect during monitoring doesn't just stay in reports or databases. It directly informs the decisions that will shape the trial's future. Today, we'll explore how monitoring data drives clinical trial project management, the interplay between data collection and operational decision-making, practical examples of how data from monitoring can impact resource allocation, recruitment, and timelines, and tips for project managers to better leverage monitoring insights. Let's get started.
Welcome to the GCP-Mindset channel and all topics on clinical research.
Let us start with understanding the connection between monitoring and project management. At its core, clinical trial monitoring ensures that all trial activities are conducted in compliance with the protocol, regulatory standards, and ethical guidelines. But, as we discussed in our webinar on risk-based monitoring, monitoring is far from just a compliance check. It's an ongoing process that helps provide the critical data that trial managers need to make decisions that can affect everything from study timelines to budget allocation. Effective monitoring doesn't just identify problems, it also informs decision-making. When CRAs and monitoring teams feed data back into the project management framework, it helps project managers to identify emerging risks, like delayed patient recruitment or site compliance issues, adjust timelines based on site performance and data collection progress, and reallocate resources more efficiently. For example, shifting staff to underperforming sites. Without data-driven insights from monitoring, project managers would be working in the dark. Let us dive into how monitoring data impacts decision-making in clinical trials. Monitoring data plays a significant role in the day-to-day decisions of clinical trial project managers. Here are a few practical examples. 1. Managing study recruitment. If patient enrollment is slower than expected, monitoring data, like recruitment rates, site performance, and patient demographics, can help project managers to identify bottlenecks and underperforming sites, take corrective action by allocating more resources to high-performing sites, or offering additional support to struggling ones, and to adjust recruitment strategies to ensure timely enrollment. Effective monitoring also helps project managers track patient retention. Real-time monitoring of adverse events, for instance, can flag when patients drop out due to safety concerns or side effects, allowing project managers to address issues early. 2. Adjusting resources for site performance. As we saw in the previous videos on centralized and remote monitoring, monitoring can identify which sites need more support and which ones are meeting or exceeding expectations. A key benefit is resource allocation. Project managers can adjust the monitoring intensity based on site performance. Sites with poor compliance or data integrity can be prioritized for additional visits or follow-up, while sites that perform well can benefit from reduced oversight, freeing up resources. Additionally, decentralized trials and remote monitoring allow project managers to identify potential issues without being on site, making resource allocation more efficient and timely. 3. Monitoring operational milestones. Monitoring isn't just about data accuracy. It's also a tool for tracking operational milestones within the trial. Key metrics like data query rates, timeliness of safety reporting, and site compliance rates. All of these insights can trigger proactive changes in the trial. For example, if data queries are escalating at certain sites, the project manager may need to assign additional support or offer more training to the site staff to address the problem before it snowballs. Let us look at the practical application of data-driven decision-making in action. One of the best ways to illustrate the power of monitoring data is through real-life examples. Here are a couple of scenarios that demonstrate how monitoring can shape project management. Scenario 1, a delayed trial timeline. Imagine a clinical trial that's falling behind schedule. The project manager receives real-time data from the monitoring team showing that 2 study sites are struggling with patient recruitment, and a 3rd site has a high dropout rate. What can be done? The project manager can adjust the timeline to accommodate the delays. They might reallocate staff to support struggling sites. They may adjust the recruitment strategy at underperforming sites, or even bring in new sites to meet enrollment goals. This kind of real-time decision-making, based on the monitoring data, can help bring the trial back on track. Scenario 2, resource reallocation based on site performance. In a large-scale study, one site has been consistently reporting clean data and timely adverse event documentation, while another site has been behind on safety reports and data accuracy. Based on this monitoring feedback, the project manager can shift resources away from the high-performing site and direct them to the lower-performing site, or additional training or support can be allocated to help the struggling site catch up. By leveraging the monitoring data, the project manager optimizes resources across the trial and keeps things moving forward efficiently. Let us talk about the importance of communication between CRAs and project managers. One key takeaway from our discussion today is the critical role that communication between CRAs and project managers plays in leveraging monitoring data effectively. CRAs are often the first to spot potential issues during site visits or remote reviews. They're also the ones who know best when certain trends or discrepancies emerge in the data. For project managers to make the best decisions, they must be in constant communication with the monitoring team. Here's how to make that process smoother. 1. Frequent updates. CRAs should provide regular updates to the project manager on site performance, potential risks, and data quality concerns. 2. Clear documentation. When monitoring flags an issue, CRAs should ensure it's properly documented and communicated to the project manager for timely action. 3. Proactive risk management. Both CRAs and project managers should adopt a proactive approach to identifying and addressing risks. Early communication of potential issues can help project managers make informed decisions faster. In conclusion, monitoring data is much more than just a tool for ensuring compliance. It's an essential resource for clinical trial project management. By effectively leveraging monitoring data, project managers can make informed decisions about recruitment, resource allocation, timeline adjustments, and operational improvements. The real-time insights provided by monitoring allow project managers to stay ahead of potential risks and ensure that clinical trials run smoothly and efficiently. Thanks for tuning into the GCP-Mindset channel. If you found this episode helpful, don't forget to share it with a colleague and subscribe to stay up to date with more insights into clinical research. As always, stay curious, stay strategic, and stay compliant. See you next time.